Hey, welcome back to Turntable Guy. Been a long time since I did a comparison video. One of my more popular videos is my Technics SL-D2 versus SL-Q2 video. I did that because they're pretty similar tables except for some very obvious changes between the D2 to the Q2, which is quartz lock and all metal construction. But I often get questions about this family of Technics turntables, and this is the SL-1300. Actually, this is a 1310, 10 being the black version, and 1300 being the silver version. And this is the SL-1600. Note that these are both the Mark I editions. There was a Mark II as well, and those are quite different and more in line with the Technics SL-1200 Mark II than with this family of tables. So what's the difference between these two tables? First of all, we should mention that they're actually a couple family of turntables. Starting off with the left here, the 1300 is the fully automatic version of this family of turntables. So you've got the 1300, the 1400, which is a semi-automatic, and the 1500, which is a fully manual. To the right, the 1600 is the fully automatic version of this family, and it's the 1600 fully automatic, 1700 semi-automatic, and 1800 fully manual. So what we're doing here is we're comparing the fully automatic versions. And that would be the same if you were comparing the 1400 to the 1700 or the 1500 to the 1800. Hope you can remember all those numbers. So anyway, what's the difference? So this is the earlier edition. So this came out, I believe, 1976, and this one was a few years later. I don't have the date at the moment, but it was the next generation. This was first, this was second, both in the 70s. So the main difference is, if you look at them just appearance-wise, you can see that the 1300 is quite a bit taller, and that is due to the fact that it's got a taller base. The 1600 has a much shorter base. The body of the turntable, the plinth, and the lids are the same height, though. So these are identical. It's just what's in the base here that makes it different. Starting off with the 1300, I'm just going to call it the 1300, not the 1310, just because it's just less confusing. So this is my personal table. I bought this probably 10 years ago now. Wonderful turntable. I actually owned a 1600 at one point, and when it came to the decision to get rid of one, I decided to keep the 1300. Now that's just personal choice. Has a lot to do with aesthetics as well. As far as the build quality, there's not a lot to choose between the two. The 1300 actually has a composite base, whereas in the 1600, it's all metal. Now, the plinths on both turntables are 100% aluminum, so they're all metal. And when you look from the top, they look virtually identical. The only difference you're going to notice is in the tone arm. So the 1600 has a slightly newer tone arm design, and this is obviously the slightly older design, but they're pretty damn similar there as well. The 1300 would have came with the older style Technics head shell. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what head shell came on this one. I'm thinking it probably would be the same as on the 1300. This gentleman, this is not my table, by the way. This came in for a quick service for speed issues. It's already been repaired. This gentleman's obviously replaced the OEM head shell on this one. So feature-wise, as you can see here, they're identical. You've got your speed selector switch, 33 pitch control, 45 pitch control. Here's one difference. On the 1300, you have 33 and 45. On the 1600, you have 33 off and 45. So you can actually turn off the platter. And that's great if you want to set up the counterweight or whatever. It's nice that you can just turn the arm right off. Again, 33-45 pitch control. You've got your standard orange strobe light. The platters are very similar, but the motors are different. Now, this is the original mat on the 1300. It's kind of a rib design. It's got little ribs all the way through. And this one has what's a more common, shall we say, Technics platter that's more common today. And you can see something like this on the D2 and the Q2 and tables like that. So very similar there. Feature-wise, they're identical. You've got your start-stop switch, your size selector switch, and you've got repeat. Again, identical. Start-stop, size, and repeat. Anti-skate counterweights are different, so that's the 1600s. Anti-skate's identical. And that's the 1300s. It's a little bit bigger on this one. So we discussed size, we discussed features, which are identical. Where the real differences are inside. This is very overbuilt. When you get into it, it's got huge slabs of metal everywhere. Just to remove and redo the tone arm cueing fluid, you have to desolder the whole tone arm from the main board and remove it. To open this turntable up, you turn it upside down and you just remove the base. On the 1600, it's completely different. This turntable, here's actually the number one difference. The 1600 is suspended. So it's suspended by springs. It's not a huge suspension turntable, but it is there. So once you put a record on the platter, it is suspended. The 1300 is not. So it relies on its feet to suspend the turntable, and they are a major point of pain on this table. The feet eventually collapse under the weight of the turntable, and they have to be replaced. Whereas the 1600 doesn't need suspended feet because it suspends the platter. And that's the big difference between the two. So you got suspension and non-suspension. Okay. To open up the 1600, again, you flip it over, but all you do is remove the feet. Once you remove the feet, you put it back on its base, and then you just basically move the tone arm to the center, pick up the entire plinth, twist it, and off it comes. So it's a completely different turntable as far as that's concerned. So that's really the main differences. Coming down to personal preference, I like this a little bit better. It's bigger as far as it's meatier looking. I just like the way it's put together. I think it's slightly better build quality than this one. And that's what usually happens with manufacturers. They tend to cheapen things as they go along. But we're not saying that the 1600 is in any way, shape, or form a cheap turntable. This is an amazing quality turntable. It'll outperform just about anything that's manufactured today. It's basically everything you want in a turntable. It's built like a tank. It's got amazing speed control without even having a quartz lock on it, an excellent arm, and all the automatic features you'll ever need. Same thing goes with the 1300. It's got all of that and just that slightly better build quality, I find. Even though the base is composite, right? It doesn't matter because the base is just holding up the turntable. The guts are within the plinth section of both units. So that was a short one, but I think it's an important one because I think a lot of times people see this design of turntable and they think they're the same family where they're not. You know, you get the 13, 14, and 15, which are completely separate family than the 16, 17, and 18. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a quick look at this family of turntables. Again, I like this one just a little bit better. I did own a 1600, And I found that when it came to the point of which one am I going to let go, I let this one go just because I like the 1300 so much more. But I'd be perfectly happy running this as my everyday turntable. No problem whatsoever. It's a great unit. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know, which one do you have? Is there one that you prefer? Do you have both? Leave a message in the comments. Let's have a nice, decent discussion. And we'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.